Welcome back to the SoBet Scoop, episode 123. As always, your host, Gutsy Picks Cash, the man to my right.
Mr. Locks.
The man with maybe a plan today. The man who's also been on fire. Mr. Locks, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, brother. How are you?
I'm doing so goddamn good, and, especially with how hot I've been over the last 3 months. I mean,
red hot.
Good. And
red hot, both of us, by the way,
Kenny,
too.
by the way, real quick, shout out Kenny. Welcome back to the show, my man.
Dave, this is becoming a Thursday routine, man. I'm all for it.
I fucking love it. I look forward to this every goddamn day. And let me tell you something, Kenny. I'm just a little bit more jazzed up, more than usual this week. Okay. I finally got to see for the first time in my life a Miami Dolphins victory with my own two eyes. In real life, boots on the ground, first time ever in Miami against the Raiders. It was something special. Okay. So I'm still just flying high off of that victory, the feeling of it. And I've also just had like a massive 3 to 4 last cut.
Your last week of your life was like crazy too.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep printing money on this show today, starting with the football game today. Obviously, we're hopping right on into it.
Yeah.
Steelers taking on the Browns in a game where the weather is dog shit. Mother Nature's coming in and say, you know what? I'm going to give you a classic Steelers-Brown game.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you the worst weather possible, the most football weather possible, I should say. Yep. Over-under sitting at 36.5. Spread sitting at 3.5 right now. Locks. Let me throw it to you first. Sitting at a side perspective only. Who's going to win the game? Who's going to cover the spread?
The Steelers win the game. I don't probably think that they cover. I'm not betting the game tonight. I hate it. Again, like you said, really ugly game. It's one of those games where the line seems like you should just line bet the Steelers, but now the Steelers are super public. So it's one of those weird games. I could see 20-17 finish. Browns cover, Steelers win the game outright. If I had to bet the game, I'd take the Browns plus 3.5.
So the score prediction was what? It was 2017. That's official?
2017 That's official final Steelers win.
By the way, and Kenny is going to love this. Kenny, there's a game this weekend, right? And this isn't tonight's game. We're talking about tonight's game, but this is something I have to bring up, right? The San Francisco 49ers play the Green Bay Packers this weekend. I'm sure if you haven't seen it yet, okay, that guy Oz, you've seen the dude who reads people's minds, right? He says let me just say what your childhood best friend is, and everyone's always mind fucked by it. You ever seen that guy?
Of course.
Okay, you've seen that guy. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Well, he said during draft night with Pat McAfee on Pat McAfee's show, he said that he predicted the first 7 draft picks correctly, dead on. Right. Yeah. He also said that my guy, the guy we drafted, Chop Robinson, is going to be a Hall of Famer. That's what he said. You know what else he said that night? He said that the score of the San Francisco 49ers Green Bay Packers game this week, I think he said the final score of it was going to be 24-17 Green Bay Packers.
I do think you're right about that.
And that game is this weekend.
Yeah.
So that's something we all have to keep an eye out for. I'm just putting that out there. Yeah. But because you brought up exact scores.
Obviously, the exact score 2017. It makes sense.
So 27 scores. But Kenny, throwing it to you next. Who's going to win the game tonight? Who's going to cover?
Dude, this game's going to suck. This game is going to really, really suck. So this is definitely a game. I'm not really breaking any news here, but definitely a game to just go light on in general. I don't think you need a whole lot of action tonight. The MO for the Steelers in the Mike Tomlin era, it seems to be they win games or at least compete and cover in games where they're dogs and they're not supposed to. And then they blow games that they're supposed to win. At least this version of the Steelers haven't been supposed to win a whole lot of games over the last 2-3 years, but it seems like every time they finally get some rhythm and then they're favorited, they lay an egg. And this just is ripe for a prime time Steelers as a favorite letdown spot. So I don't have a whole lot of passion on either side here, but if you put a gun to my head, I'd probably lean the Browns here. I think as good of a coach as Tomlin is, and I do think he's one of the best coaches in the NFL, historically he's just been terrible on Thursday Night Football. And again, if the Steelers are favorites, I'm fading them. It's just kind of the logic I've used for them forever. So gun to my head, this is Browns.
Did we read? Is 1-7? Remember
1-7. I think that was right. 1-7. I think it was right.
Is this record actually 1-7 on Thursday Night Football? Do you know off the top of your head, Kenny?
Top of my head, I don't have it. Yeah,
I don't know. Someone told us that earlier. I honestly still have a hard time believing that that's real. 1-7.
Yeah.
That's.
I think 1-7 is right, dude.
That's pretty fucking.
That's
bad.
the record that somebody told us.
Honestly, I love Russell Wilson. I think Russell Wilson should have been the quarterback since day one. I don't care what Justin Fields did, especially as a guy who lived in Chicago, had the first-hand look at Justin Fields every single week. That guy's dog shit. Yeah. He is a bad fucking NFL quarterback. I think he is absolutely terrible. But what he did to start the season was something special, right? And it's the Mike Tomlin, not cursed, but it's like the Mike Tomlin magic. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense how these Steelers teams, year in, year out, even when Ben Roethlisberger, like, was Joe Flacco, like, even worse, like, just couldn't move. Like, he would hike it, he would drop back, and if you got in there within 3 seconds, he would just basically fall down, right? In a fucking statue. Like, they would still winning games with him going down the stretch, and it blew my fucking mind. And to this day, it still blows my mind. I think that Russell Wilson's a good quarterback. I've always liked Russell Wilson. I've always had a thing for him.
Mr. Unlimited.
Mr. Unlimited.
Thank you.
But I like the Browns as well, man. Jameis Winston, like, I think they are going to win this game. Honestly, I think they can win this game by at least a touchdown. Like, I think it would be something around there. It's going to be an interesting game to watch. It's probably going to, I say interesting, like dog shit, right?
Yeah,
it's probably going to be 3 yards, dirt in the air type of game. Keep it on the ground a lot of rush attempts if I had to guess. 0-5 in divisional road games under Tomlin. Thank you, John M., for that fantastic stat for the show.
Oh, and that's that's just for Thursday Night Football.
0-5 in divisional road games under Tomlin?
On Thursday night.
Yeah, I would assume so.
Wow, that's crazy.
You said that? Yeah, on Thursday Night Football. I was going to say, it wouldn't make any, they wouldn't be possible.
Yeah, no, yeah, if it was anything else, yeah.
But I like the Browns tonight. I like Jameis Winston to go out and get it done. You could also just kind of tell, man, like, even last week's game, right? Jameis Winston is, not that he was trying to leave the field, but he couldn't leave the field even if he wanted to after the game because every single Saints player wanted to hug him because that's how much people love Jameis Winston. Teammates love Jameis Winston. The locker room is going to respond extremely well to the change, especially as the season goes on. I mean, Jameis Winston is not that bad of a quarterback.
No, he's not, bro.
Not that bad of a quarterback.
Jameis is still a dog,
I like
bro.
the Browns. I like the Browns to cover. I like the Browns to win tonight. Now,
moving
on to the total of the game, sitting at 36.5, the most classic total for a game like this. Locks, I'll throw it to you first. Over, under, is there going to be a lot of points scored, or what are you liking in this game?
I mean, I already said 2017, which puts me over. So I'm going to go with the over in the game, 2017. That's obviously my final score. But it's just a game where the under's so low. Like, I feel like they're baiting you. They want you to hit the under. I don't know, man. I would not be shocked tonight if there was a lot of points scored. Again, I think there's stats. Russ has gone out there. I believe he's played 4 weeks now. He's put up like 28. I think he's scored in the 30s twice. And against a Browns defense that's nothing special. I mean, we've seen this defense all year long kind of struggle. So, but the Steelers on the other hand, again, now they're facing a guy that's got a gunslinger and Jameis does not wait. Jameis Winston is one of those guys that doesn't give a fuck if he goes out there and throws 5 picks. He's either going to throw 5 touchdowns or he's going to throw 5 picks. And that's kind of what you're signing up for when you go up against Jameis Winston. So I would not be shocked tonight if the Browns go out here and put up a ton of points. So I'm going to go with the over. Give me the over.
Okay, the over. I like that. Kenny, what do you like, the over or the under?
Under.
Kenny says, I'm going classic.
Dude, I hope I'm wrong, right? In a perfect scenario, this game is 45-39, and there's a billion points, and all your touchdown props hit, and everything's well and dandy. I'm just mentally preparing for what I think is going to happen here. And, like, I keep getting mixed reports on the weather. Like, it looked like it was going to be just blatantly awful the entire week. And then earlier in the day, it looked like it may not be as bad. And then, like, 20 minutes ago, I'm reading Kevin Rolfe, and it's like, actually, the wind might be even worse than we thought. So, like, I think it's a really good defense, an okay defense, 2 offenses I don't have a whole lot of faith in. Short week, Thursday night, gross divisional game, and then you add the elements in here. Like, if the game goes over, great, but like this screams like 16-10 gross game.
Yeah, like literally, or like last week when the Steelers kicked 5 field goals or whatever it was, or 6.
Yeah, they won 16-18 against the Ravens, right?
No, because I will say the one thing about Hard Rock is that we don't have like a big dedicated screen all the scoreboards. We just have like this tiny little board, and I'm so locked into the Dolphins game that I don't ever look up at it. It's like one time, like the guy behind me is like, wow, the Steelers have 18 points. And I was like, well, did you just kick all field goals? Like, what the hell happened? But also, if I had to compare both quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson from Seattle has played in far more games with worse conditions than Jameis Winston has, who, played a lot of games in states like Florida. Right?
Yeah,
played a lot of perfect weather games. So I do think that Russell Wilson also is just going to be like just a better quarterback to trust in a spot like this, which again is why I actually couldn't pull the trigger on the Browns. Yeah. It's why I like them to win tonight. I like them to cover tonight, but I just think Russell Wilson could potentially be more prepared for this game, especially in the weather. if I really had to take the over under, I would have to go with the under too. And it just seems too obvious, bro.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to just go out there and just say the under because it just seems so fucking obvious. But I just think that both teams are going to have ground heavy. And, both teams have 2 running backs. Like, both teams have 2 running backs that they use a decent amount.
I mean, both teams will run the football tonight without question.
Have to.
Almost like the whole game, probably.
Yeah. It's going to be such a fucking dog shit game to watch tonight. But if I had to take the over or the under, man, I would have to take the under in this game of 36.5.
Dude,
and we'll just have to sit back and just kind of.
I mean, again, I
think flag fest.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of. I mean, obviously not with the Bengals this year, but there's a trends with AFC North unders. I believe in primetime are massive. I do.
Everyone's gonna be talking about primetime under this, primetime.
Yeah, primetime under. It's a primetime under.
Like it is every single fucking year.
Give me the
so, just a really quick recap. I like the Browns to win and cover.
Browns cover.
You like the Browns to cover? Do you like them to win though?
No,
you just like them just to cover. And then Kenny, you liked.
I kind of like the Browns, I guess.
Exactly.
Browns in the under.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I fucking love the Browns. I'm not telling you guys to go out there and just hammer town. We'll get to that in just a second. Moving on now to our prop play. Give out your favorite prop play or a favorite prop play you have in tonight's game. Kenny, let me throw this one to you first. I want you to lead us off with the props here. I know that you just talked about you're still trying to figure out what the weather. Obviously, the weather, it's up in the air. It's shifty. We don't know what the hell's going on exactly. But if you had to take a prop, your favorite prop, what would you take?
I have one bet in right now. It's just one touchdown prop.
Okay.
I bet the number 1 tight end on the Steelers to score a touchdown.
Pat Freiermuth?
No, that'd be Darnell Washington. Darnell Washington has quietly outsnapped Pat Freiermuth back-to-back weeks. He's out-targeted Pat Freiermuth back-to-back weeks. He's got more red zone targets on the year than Pat Freiermuth. The dude is like 6'12", 390 pounds. He is just an absolute house.
He's an absolute monster.
Big red zone target. And like they were talking coming into the year, like, hey, this guy's going to be a legit like second tight end. And ever since Russ has gotten the ball here, he has been looking at this guy even more so than Freiermuth. So I think if you're going to bet one long shot tonight, I did Darnell Washington. And if you want to get completely, utterly insane for like a legitimately like $5 here, if we think it's going under, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of touchdowns scored tonight. So I only rarely do this in games like this if I have like one guy I want some touchdown action for. But give me $5 on the Darnell Washington only touchdown. How you do that? Darnell Washington first touchdown, Darnell Washington last touchdown. It's like 300 to 1. I played that.
Okay,
bro. If that thing hits, Kenny. So what was it? 300 to 1.
It's like 290 to 1. Darnell Washington first touchdown, Darnell Washington last touchdown. I mean, I'm not doing that like he's scoring twice. The logic there is this game. It's the game sucks, and Darnell Washington scores the only touchdown. That's first and last.
Right, I'm about to say, so he doesn't have to score 2 touchdowns. He only has to score 1 touchdown.
Wow. So if you think the game's shit, man, you got a touchdown
I guess
score
obviously
like
could score 2. Yeah, but
if you think if you think the game is shit, like you got a touchdown score you really like. I do think this is one of those games like you could probably talk me into that angle there. Again, it's 290 to 1 for a reason here, but that was my guy. Usually it's like I bet a guy to score and I bet him to score twice. For this game, it's like if I'm betting anybody to score, I'm hitting the first and last as well, just in case it's even worse than we thought.
That's not what I expected to come out of your mouth. Wow. I also want to say Washington's slowly taking over the NFL because we have a Washington ourselves. Actually, Kenny's guy, Braxton Berrios.
Yeah, Braxton Berrios.
He lost his job in Miami. I mean, the man went out there, he got hurt, right? And I mean, he's putting up goose eggs everywhere, right? Sales all across the board.
Yeah.
He gets hurt. We bring in this dude, Washington. I mean, this guy, not only is he scoring touchdowns, we're giving this guy the ball 5-6 times a game.
He's also a special teams unit.
It's
like monster, isn't this guy?
Yeah. So poor Brad. I mean,
rest easy.
Rest in peace, Braxton Berrios.
He's also
I love him.
fucking
Kenny
Alex Earl. So why do we feel bad for this guy?
Well, because he's like my Dolphin. He was been a Dolphin for a couple of years.
Okay.
Like I love the grit he brings to the team.
Is he still? By the way, is he still with her?
Yeah, he's
Oh
gotta
yeah,
be.
oh yeah, they're in love, deep in love, deep in love, deep in love.
Deep in
They'll
love.
get married one
He's
day.
gotta be.
Deep in love, they're deep. Yeah. Locks.
Yeah. What's up?
You got a prop or two that you want to give the people? Give me two. Give
Yeah,
us two
I'll give you
props.
two. I'll give
I
you
want
two.
two props from you tonight.
I had one that I was looking at earlier that I did end up betting. I bet Najee Harris over 72.5 rushing yards tonight. Again, I just think it's ground and pound. I think he's averaging 83.5 rushing yards a game. So I went with that. I took his over. And then the only other bet that I have not placed, but I might before game time, was Jerry Jeudy over 3.5. If we're thinking of Pittsburgh, I obviously think Pittsburgh's going to win the game. And I think if Jameis is going to do it, I know Kenny's got me nervous with the wind and all the weather and all this shit, but Jerry Jeudy over 3.5 for I think it's receptions. I did bet that as well. So,
well, what else
those
would it be
are-
if it wasn't receptions?
well, no, it had to be receptions. It can't be
That's what I'm
yards,
saying.
obviously.
That's
His
what it
yards
is.
were too high. I think it was like 30, it's like 38.5, something like that. I was
Okay,
like, no,
sure.
give me the
No,
receptions.
no
So,
worries.
Jerry Jeudy over 3.5
okay.
receptions. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get too chalky with it.
Yeah.
I really don't want to. I've just got this
You've been chalky lately.
this like sneaky intuition of tonight's game that I think our guy Russell Wilson, my guy, I'll say my guy because I've always been a Russell Wilson guy.
Steelers not my guy. So
I
you're a
think
guy.
Russell Wilson is going to. And by the way, a lot of people saying Jalen Warren in the chat. I see Coop up there said Jalen Warren 2 tutties. I'm seeing King of Props saying Jalen Warren 2 tutties.
There's a lot of 2 tutties I heard. Yep.
But I want Russell Wilson over 3.5 rushing attempts. Okay. I just think tonight is going to be the night that Russell Wilson not only runs the ball multiple times, but if they do end up winning the game towards the end as well, which I do think the Browns come in the game. But if the Steelers do what they're supposed to do tonight,
Yeah.
could get a couple of kneels towards the end, obviously, which would help. But I have this just intuition. It was almost like a dream last night, like a Martin Luther King situation where I'm like, he's going to run the ball.
Yeah.
Like I woke up this morning and it hit me. And I was like, wow, like why didn't this hit me last time?
Bro, I have to bring this up.
Go ahead.
Because while you're talking about quarterbacks running the football, Kenny, what do you think about Jameis Winston over 8.5 rushing yards?
Oof.
I mean, because dude, you know who told me about this earlier?
Talk to me.
Intervals was like, bro, he's gonna be running for his life, and I'm like, TJ Watt, obviously Hayward, some of the boys will probably be back there.
Yeah.
Jameis might take off a little bit,
Scared of throwing it deep because the wind.
like maybe, you know what I mean? So Jameis might take off. 8.5's not a lot. I feel like that's like I feel like that's very low.
Well, you can't lose any. I mean, unless he kneels.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
I do wish there was like I'm sure there is, but a way to see sort of just overall tendencies when you get these types of weather games. Because like I think conventional wisdom, you're like, oh, it's going to be shitty. They're going to be scrambling more. I think the counter argument is both teams are going to try to just run the fuck out of the ball. They're going to be dropping back to pass less. Therefore, there's less scramble opportunities. So
For sure.
I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that one. I guess it's it either hits or it doesn't, right?
right, absolutely, yeah.
That's
No,
facts.
that's actually how gambling
I
goes.
could not have put it better myself, Kenny. I could not have put it better myself. That's a fact.
Kenny's like, you know what, bro? Just put some money on it. It's gonna either hit or it's not gonna hit, and you're either gonna be an idiot or you're gonna be really smart. And I'm like, yeah, great.
Yeah, hold on. My buddy's a meteorologist and he's like a Steelers fan. He's calling me really quick. So I'm going to mute myself and I'll pop back in with his weather report.
Yeah, no.
Wow, and it's a live weather report from our guy.
I've got a couple of weather guys myself. Actually, one weather guy myself that I used to talk to all the time, and that guy's fantastic.
Is he good?
Oh my god,
He gets it done.
He used to always be like, "Yo, can you please just like spread my name like through your videos, your Discords?" And I would literally.
You're just like,
Yeah,
literally
I'd be
everybody.
like, "Yo,
Just shoot
this
it
guy-
out
this
to
guy-
everybody
this
you
guy-
can
This guy's
get, bro.
unbelievable,
Dude.
meteorologists.
Like,
Which again, and I'm not trying to get into meteorologists
Why
right
don't
now.
you
so
shout him
everybody's-
out?
I think meteorologists
Say his
are
name.
well because I'm about to say this next. I think meteorologists are the second biggest scumbag liars in our country. It goes 1 home plate umpires.
Yeah,
It goes 2 meteorologists. It goes 3
college kickers.
no politicians.
Oh wow.
Politicians.
Okay, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
We college kickers at 4, and then I do like to put Tom Brady at 5. But
Okay.
it's really kind of cycled because Tom Brady slipped down the list after he released all of his YouTube videos because like his YouTube videos
They're pretty cool.
are kind of cool.
Yeah.
So even though I hate Tom Brady, and Tom Brady, who is a confirmed lying scumbag, that's a fact.
No, that is a fact. Yeah.
Bad guy. But
That is a fact.
yeah. So that's exactly what I was gonna go. What's going on down there?
Yeah. What is going on down
What's
there?
going on down there? Does he want in here real quick? What's up, Coop?
How we doing?
We're doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I just had a play to get out. I mean, we had to recap Monday night. We hit the negative correlation parlay, the Joe Mixon under 2.5 receptions, over 40 receiving yards on the last play. And we're going to run it back tonight. We're gonna run
Okay,
it back.
so what is
tonight.
it? What is it?
Jalen Warren.
Okay.
Under 2.5 receptions, over 25 receiving yards. Like Jalen,
Okay.
in this type of game, he could easily get a sloppy screen, take it for 30, and not have a catch the rest of the game.
Yeah,
100%.
Like
absolutely.
I actually like this more than I like the Joe Mixon one.
Unfortunately, I couldn't get involved in Joe Mixon one because I was on a bus. But no, that was I loved that play. When I opened up my phone and I saw it, I loved it. I was very excited about it. So I
Negative
would tail this
correlation
one.
parlays. Some of the most value on FanDuel. People forget.
People do forget.
FD. We don't say that name on
FD. FD. You're right. FD.
All right.
Don't want to get banned.
Appreciate you blessing the people, Coop. Anything else?
Play. Follow Coop the King on SoBet. I'm on the 7-day leaderboard. One of the hottest guys on the platform. I'll see you guys later.
See you later, buddy.
That's it.
That's a great one. Those negative correlation bets are.
Oh, Kenny's almost back.
Special.
We do have to say that was insane that he cashed that ticket the other day.
Yeah,
and I found out about it, bro. I literally just heard you go bananas downstairs, and I was like, what? And I literally thought that me and Bryce, because again, we took Cowboys plus 17,
14
and a half. And so I was like, oh my God, they scored. I went upstairs, they were up by 20, right? Yeah. I go upstairs, I'm sitting there, whatever. I hear Bryce go nuclear. And I'm like, what the fuck just happened? And I look, bro, and it was a negative correlation fucking.
Bro, it was
and he cashed like $1,500 bucks.
Not need to throw that ball. Like they just needed to run it out.
That's
run
insane.
The timeout. They did not need to do a drop-off pass at all.
It's crazy.
I wish
bro.
I was involved. I was so fucking bummed out. But my prop play, by the way, just to finish it off.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
Again, it sounds so disgusting. Like Kenny said, it might hit, it might not, and it sounds horribly disgusting because there will be less dropbacks.
Yeah.
But there's just something about that Russell Wilson rush prop tonight that I love, and there's also something really tiny that I like, real tiny.
Okay.
Russell Wilson
anytime.
Russell Wilson anytime.
Kenny, do you like that? You hate that, Kenny. You don't like that.
I don't hate that at all, man. I could definitely. Russ has proved me wrong the last couple of weeks. Like I'm back in on Russ. He hasn't been scrambling as much. I think he ran one in his first game. Again, it wouldn't surprise me. What are they giving you? Like
I also bet that you couldn't guess how many rushing touchdowns he has in his career. Like
Russell Wilson in his career?
Yeah.
Dude, I would say it's a lot.
It is a lot, though. Like, it's like way more, though, than like
I'm
I
gonna guess.
I looked at it like a week ago or something, or when I saw it, I was stunned. Like,
was it like 50?
I think it's like 40 something. Yeah, I think it's like 44 or something like that, or I don't know, something like that. But either way, like when I saw it, though, I just was like, that's just a lot of running touchdowns.
Yeah, it's a lot.
16 games, you're a quarterback. Like, that's just so many more rush touchdowns. Yeah. I have a Russ plus Darnell anytime touchdown ticket in my pocket. All right, king of props, fucking.
By the way, what was the weather report?
Oh yeah, what was the weather report?
His, long story short, about the same that everyone has been seeing throughout the day. He said that he is not as worried about the wind. He said it's going to be windy as shit tonight, like midnight-ish. He's like, if the game was a couple hours later, it would be a major, major problem. But he thinks during the game, you're going to get some snow, you're going to get some, some sleet, some rain. They've been getting that all day. So like the field's going to be sloppy. But he says he doesn't think the wind is going to be a factor. I mean, it's going to be 10 to 15 miles an hour, may throw off a throw here and there. He's like, but it's going to get like really gusty, if you will, later tonight, but it's not going to affect the game too much. So he says he thinks that, at least as of right now, because of how much the total has come down and how much props have come down, if you got a spot or two you like, he's like, sneak 2 juiced overs in there and just sort of buy the dip on the overall game. He's like, gun to his head, he thinks it won't be as bad as people are making it out to be. So I don't know. It doesn't change too much for me. Like I've got a really light card here. If I add anything, it would be something like that. Like I already have like the Darnell Washington first last. So that's like hey, this game sucks. He scores.
Yeah. Hey, this game is fucking horrible.
Like if I add anything else, it would be like, something with like Tillman, Pickens, a lot of alt yards. And it's just like, hey, like it wasn't as bad as they thought. The passing game actually was fine. And you're buying the dip on now some really low receiving props. So, a couple ways to go about it. Just long story short, it's a game you really shouldn't have that much money invested in anyway.
Yeah, could not agree more. Now moving on to a segment that, again, we added because of our boy Kenny, because of just how insanely hot he was, especially to start the year. Now we do it every single episode, and we literally call it the KiiLkenny segment. We'll come up with a better name for it at some point. I don't know when, but it's blatantly just in your face. Whether he's on the show or not, it's the KiiLkenny segment, and it is Who is going to score 2 touchdowns in this absolute dog shit game tonight?
Bro, no
If
one.
someone does it, who is it going to be? And Locks, I want you to start us off here. Who would it be if someone did somehow score 2 touchdowns?
I mean, I don't want to be chalky. No, I'm not going to be chalky. Fuck it. Give me David Njoku. I'll take him. Just because I want the Browns to win this game. Like, obviously, for the Bengals, I want the Browns to win this game. Obviously, right? And again, dude, Jameis in the red zone. He likes big targets. He's a guy, he can find them. I mean, I'll take it. Give it to me. If anybody scores 2 tonight, I think it's David Njoku.
Okay. Kenny, throwing it to you.
I was probably going to say Njoku. If I don't do Njoku, I got to do somebody on the Browns because I do like the Browns. I've got Washington already, so I would need somebody on the Browns. And just based on the conversation I just had with my boy, I mean, dude, like even on DraftKings right now, it's got to be the best in the market. Like Judy 2 is 40-1. Like that could be a late click. That could be a late click for me. I think if I did it, it would be a Browns receiver and just be like, hey, pray the weather isn't as bad.
I'm going to say something that no one's going to believe. Like, nobody's going to believe this. Me and Locks were just driving back here. We were on our way back here from a late lunch. And I was looking at my phone like, man, who do I think is going to score 2 touchdowns tonight? And on my mama, as some people say,
Sure,
my first name was David Njoku. And I swear on my life that that's what it was. But the other one that I had to, again, was Russell Wilson, because also with the weather, I just think there's going to be this weird possibility that if they get the 1 yard line, they're going to say, let's not even worry about trying to hand it off and possibly fumble it. Let's just let Russ cook. Let Russ cook.
It's going to be a play action naked boot, and it's going to be wide open to Darnell Washington, who's standing.
And Bryce has been hearing me say that. Brian, wide open.
It's going to be wide open to Darnell Washington.
What's up, West by God? He said, Gutsy, how's that ass feeling after that bus ride? Like Dwight Howard's. Like I said, now I know how Dwight Howard feels. Lloyd looks fucking locked in.
Lloyd's been locked.
Yeah.
Again, 9 units over the last 7 days. Follow on SoBet, one of the hottest guys out there.
Absolutely locked in. But yeah, I'm not even kidding. I also like David. The fact that we all three just said David Njoku without actually going over who we all were going to say is kind of fucking insane.
Yeah.
Might have no choice but to check it out. Like, you should check out SoBet. Now, the very last thing on the show, as always, per usual, we cashed it. Wait, last week? Was it last week that we cashed?
No, the first one ever cashed, correct?
No, well, we cashed week 1, and then we didn't cash again until either last week or 2 weeks ago. But remember, it was the good one.
It was a good one, Bryce. Was it? I don't think it was last week. Last week we didn't cash. 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
All right. So we're not quite on a run per se, but we're gonna get back on track today with the squad ride. Squad ride. Each one of us gives out again our favorite play, favorite prop, whatever you think is good. We got to get this thing just a little bit juiced up. Bryce or Kenny, I guess one of you two can usually end up finding out the odds anyways because you guys have
the equipment in front of your face.
I'm going to go ahead and I want Kenny to bat lead off here, right? I want to see which direction Kenny goes, get on base. Kenny, what play do you have for the squad ride tonight?
Darnell Washington over 1.5 receptions, plus 122.
Bro, Kenny, did you say plus 124?
Plus 122. Let me see if it's even better elsewhere.
What? I'm going to bet that right now.
Darnell Washington. Over 1.5 receptions for leg number 1. Locks. What is going to be leg number
2 is going to be Kenny has me now all of a sudden feeling great with the updated weather report. It's not going to be that big of a deal. The wind out there, right? I mentioned this earlier in the show. Jerry Jeudy over 3.5 receptions. I do think it's free. I think he might get 5-6 balls tonight. So give me Jerry Jeudy, second leg over 3.5. And you're probably going to have to give another plus money, Todd. And that's a situation that I'm putting you in right now because I went prop. Kenny goes prop. You have to give a touchdown score. So who scores touchdown tonight, guys? You're always the guy that bangs a tud. Who is it?
I agree. I've been hot. I agree.
Yeah. Pull something out of your ass. What do you? Huh?
The thing is, I don't want to just take the guy that I already said in the show, but like.
What do you mean? If it hits, we need it
to
win. I need a winner. I don't care if you already said I need it to win. Winner.
Russell Wilson anytime. Russell Wilson anytime. I don't care. We keep talking. I don't care. I woke up thinking about it. It's a Martin Luther King Jr. situation. Like I said,
Kenny, we're really going to let him fuck our squad like this?
I had a dream. Russell Wilson, anytime touchdown. Bryce.
Bro, this bitch is fucking plus 1,800.
I mean, it's plus 1964 on F3.
I was all over
generational wealth.
I was all over. I was all over it.
All right, if you're thinking to yourself, man, I got to spend a lot of money on Christmas coming up. Well, Merry Christmas. Call me Santa. Call me Santa.
Plus 20, yeah, plus 2,100 on DK.
Plus 2,100 on DK. All right, I fucking love it.
So it's Russell Wilson anytime.
Yes. Darnell Washington
over 1.5 and Jerry Jeudy over 3.5 receptions.
That's the play.
Okay.
That's the play. So
and last thing my buddy said, in terms of precipitation, it's going to get steadily better throughout the game. So like the worst of it's going to be in the first half. So potentially the first half is really, really gross. You're going to get better weather in the second half. It could be a good spot to maybe snipe some live lines during halftime if you think that, game's flowing a little more second half.
Okay. All right. No, I like that. It's great information.
Love it.
It's great information. I'm tailing deer, as you should. Gutsy had a 2-day bus ride, and that's the best he can come up with? Okay. All right. My life was on the line.
Gutsy had 2 full days to think about who the anytime touchdown scorer was going to be in this game, and he came up with Russell Wilson.
Anytime touchdown, like I said, Martin Luther King situation. Make sure you guys go follow KiiLkenny on Twitch. If you're not doing it yet, I don't know what the fuck you are waiting on. Make sure you guys go check out SoBet. And, of course, make sure you guys hit that follow button so you stop missing this live stream every damn Thursday. Kenny,
damn right, baby.
Man, I appreciate you as always, dog.